You just got to get out of your head. You got to get out of your own way. You got to risk everything. Then you start living. Hey guys, welcome to the From Within podcast. You're about to listen to the Not So Black and White Real Estate podcast. It's a couple of awesome guys that interviewed me in September. I asked them if I could have a copy of this so I could actually put this toward my audience because it was a really good interview. Hopefully you enjoy it. Let me know. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe and share it with your friends. Cheers.
You're listening to the Not So Black and White Real Estate Podcast with your hosts, Sir Colin Campbell and Gary A. McGowan.
Good afternoon. You are tuned into the Not So Black and White Real Estate Podcast with your host, Sir Colin Campbell here and Gary A. McGowan. We have a special guest dialing into the studio today. The man, the myth, the legend, Ben Oosterveld. Ben, just before we get into Ben, here's a word just from our sponsor, Hal Elrod.
Hey, this is Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning and The Miracle Equation, and I am recording this quick video to let you know I'll be speaking at the Keller Williams Young Professionals event on November 12th in Canada, and I hope to see you there. My message will be more than just The Miracle Morning. This is about how to take your success, and when I say your success, I mean your success in literally every single area of your life to a level 10. To the greatest.
All right, Hal, that is awesome. That is awesome. What's going on here? I got things happening in the background. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. Here's the really cool thing. Did we just lose our guest? I think we might have.
Oh,
We can hear him.
We can hear.
Yeah,
him.
I'm here. I got my picture on your screen.
Okay.
Good. So we have a mystery voice, my friends, mystery voice, and sometimes that's all it takes. So on the show today, we've got our good friend Ben Oosterveld from all the way from Edmonton, and sometimes we fly in, sometimes we use the magic of internet. And at this point, this is when I normally read a bio, but here's what I like about Ben. Ben lives outside the box. There is no box for Ben. Ben created his own box, and I met Ben probably about 7, 8, 9 years ago, perhaps. And Ben was always that person that just did things slightly different. I remember when he first got his license, he said to a good friend of our podcast here, Ian Zabel,
Yes.
being a
Zabel,
man, being a real estate agent is really easy because no agents are willing to do the hard bits. And it's so easy to do the hard bits.
And it's funny that you say that because one of my favorite songs, it's hustle, 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 hard. And it's one of my taglines, and I love it. So, Ben, kudos for even saying that. As agents, we need to hustle.
Awesome. I love it. And Ben's got a great track record, and we'll get into a lot of different things from how he kind of started in the real estate world, owning, I think, over 100 investment properties, that sort of thing, and all sorts of really cool stuff to becoming one of the top agents in Edmonton, now runs a very successful real estate team there. And that experience has allowed him to give back, and he's giving back in many different ways. And one of the ways he's doing that is with coaching and coaching in people's businesses, but really helping people live a better life. Ben, my friend, how are you?
Bring him up.
Good, man. Thanks for letting me on. Can you see me?
No, we lost the video feed for you, but we can hear you just fine. So until we get the video back, we'll figure that part out.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for
there you are.
Inviting me to come out, man. This is great. And we do have a little history back together. Hey, do you remember when we first met?
I do. You ran a little workshop here in Toronto.
Yeah.
And this guy comes out, introduces himself, and he goes, "Okay, I gotta go." Comes back.
I said I gotta get a speaker. I gotta grab me. He's late.
Seriously, comes out in like the sleaziest salesman we've ever met.
Pedophile glasses.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
I went Hollywood level. Magnum PI mustache. Remember that?
No, you kidding me?
Yeah. I forget. Did that guy have a name? I'm sure he had a name.
I did. It was, oh man, I still got the suit. I haven't brought him out in a while. I might actually do a speaking event, come out like that one time on a big stage.
Like it.
What was his name?
I don't know.
I know, Lemons. Jack Lemons.
Jack. I think you're right.
It was Jack Lemons. It was, and he's from Detroit. It was,
why?
But it was all. It was about. It was the point was though about how authenticity and self-awareness is critical in business. And when you meet someone that's not self-aware, it is repelling, very repelling. So.
Well, I beg to differ. That guy was very aware.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. We have fun. No, that's pretty awesome. Ben, I always at this time of the podcast, we always like to ask our guests, give us the 1 minute bio of yourselves, your own words. So what does that look like? I know you probably are going to need like a 30-minute, but give it the high level view.
Okay. My backstory has been something I've been trying to work out all my life. I lived on the streets for over a year, actually through a couple of years. Had a tough childhood. Went to rehab for 365 days straight. Graduated that. Ended up getting into sales and marketing. Started dominating in that. Sold $2.5 million worth of office furniture at Gunner Office Furnishings. My dad taught me some old school sales stuff. Just be natural when it comes to selling and marketing. Then I read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I said, this is me, man. This is it. I'm like, this is entrepreneur. I didn't even know what that meant. And so and then I found out real estate investing. I'm like, this is awesome. It's insane. I quit my job. I was making $150,000 a year selling office desks. And I'm like, let's do this. Like, no, if I was to look back, how absolutely dumb is that? But I did it and bought, 40 properties in the 14 months. I had 20 some investors, ended up with 61 in holdings, did a whack of real estate deals. Then kind of a crash hit. We hit the taps turned off. All the investors wanted their money. And I'm saying, no, we can't sell. Nothing. You got to wait now. That was definitely a growing time for me. And it took a while to navigate that. I sold off a bunch of property and I've got a small portfolio now. I had to deal with a lot of personal issues all the way through that, being a people pleaser, performance related guy where just always wanted to make everyone happy. And my whole life was just so surrounded by my own personal sabotages and my own personal insecurities. It just drove me and had anger issues, all kinds of stuff haunted me all the way through. And started working with Philip McKernan. And you guys know who Philip, he's been my mentor for years. He's helped me to ask me questions on what I want in life, which I now ask other people that same question and really help me be me, give me permission to be me. I became a real estate agent, sold, $440,000 worth of property, made $440,000 my first calendar year. The second year I made $660,000. So in the first real 24 months, I was pulling in over $1 million commissions, and I did it without any social media, without anything. No big network. I just knew exactly what we needed to do. I thought it was the most ridiculously easy business you've ever seen because most people are doing the same shit. And so then I literally became a real estate agent because I wanted to coach agents. It wasn't that I wanted to be an agent. It was that I thought, how cool would that be to have an agent start? And I knew I would dominate. And I don't mean to be cocky. I just knew. And I think that what happened was I convinced 12 agents to pay me monthly. And I said, this will be the only time that anyone can start with me because I'll only do this once. And so if you want to coach with me, I'm going to start from the very, very beginning and I'm going to do it with you. So I did that with 12 people. And that's how I started coaching. Now, obviously, I'm coaching. I've done lots of retreats. I've got lots of coaching going on. But I built my real estate team up to, I think we're close to 7 guys now. We're looking at a couple more. And now we're one of the top teams in all of Western Canada. I think I've sold 4 properties this year. But our team's, well over 120 properties sold this year so far. And it's good. But our entire culture in our business is not money driven. Our goals driven. We've taken ourselves off all goals. Typical Remax likes to really pump up those awards. I'm not a big fan of that at all. So what we do is we took ourselves off all the awards and we celebrate building a life paid for by real estate. And I think this is the best business for that. So that's what I'm up to, coaching a lot. I'm in between coaching calls right now. We're running a retreat in October. Yeah, there's your bio. How's that? Is that 2 minutes maybe? I tried to burn through it.
Okay, so our podcast is done. That's
I think
awesome.
so. We can wrap it up right.
Sorry, you guys.
I love it.
Listen, there's a lot that you said. There's a lot of great nuggets that were mentioned there that I would like to really dive into and really pull that out and learn more about who you are, how you overcome a lot of those challenges. Right in the beginning, you mentioned that, you were homeless for a couple of years. Tell us a little bit about that and how does one go from homeless to creating a dynamic real estate business, a coaching business, an investment business? What happened in your mind? What happened there?
Yeah, man. You know what? At a young age, I had a thought that hit my head that said, I don't want to be like my father. My dad to this day is a really good guy. He had his own demons. He had his own troubles. He had a really tough childhood. So I don't really blame him for anything. I used to blame my dad for everything. It haunted my own life. It was my own cancer. But I have a good relationship with him today. But the thing is that he was 20 and he had me, and he didn't have a good beginning. So I got the brunt of a lot of stuff. And at 12, I was kind of this weird thought. I'm like, I don't want to be like him. So it wasn't like, screw you all. It's like, I got to get out of here. And so I literally stole some money. My dad he was a pastor, just for an old folks home. And he'd take donations and give it to like charity and mission trips.
So you're the son of a pastor. You're the son of a pastor, and you stole the pastor's money.
Yeah, and I stole all that money, and I got a cab, and I was 12, and I convinced the cab to pick me up, and I drove into town and dropped me off, and that was the start of my journey, and so I don't know how the heck you go from that, but yeah, man, it was a tough road. I had to survive. I'd steal liquor and bring it to people's houses. I remember one night my dad, I snuck, but my dad didn't want nothing to do with me at this point. I turned into a very, very wild kid, like just wild. And so I can understand why they didn't want me there. But I remember one time sneaking into the house at minus like 30 because I had nowhere to sleep. So I snuck into my old room, and they caught me. Yeah, it was minus 30, and then they threw me out again. And I had to figure it out. So I stole some liquor, and I figured this shit out. And I think that's kind of transitioned into business, to be honest. The stuff that you overcome actually becomes your superpower. And so I could figure shit out, and I had to. Not saying I'd throw my kid out at minus 30, but it actually caused me to kind of figure it out. I wanted to live. I wanted to do something, but it was just challenge after challenge after challenge. And I think that's what gives me an advantage today. I'm not a victim of it, and I think I own it. So yeah, I don't know how to answer the whole question, but
wow.
That was
so
kind of
at that stage, Ben, when you were, trying to figure out who you are, rebelling in some way, what limiting beliefs you had to overcome at that point?
Oh, everything was limited. Every thought was limiting. I just thought I talked too much. I thought I wasn't good enough. My dad tried to teach me things that I just tried to make him happy. I couldn't figure it out. So I tried to make everyone else happy around me. So I'd steal cigarettes to give to kids to like me. I'd do whatever I could to get someone to like me. I think that still transitions to most people today who drive Lamborghinis a lot of times. I think that's the same thing still happening. I just trying to work out my shit though. Yeah. And so I think that's limiting beliefs is I was nothing. I was worthless. The whole faith-based, when you have that kind of mentality, then you look at your faith and you think, oh man, like I just can't be good enough. You can't be like God or Jesus. And like every single thing was everywhere in my life was just not good enough. And I had no value. And I was never taught that. I was taught as a kid, very extreme style Christianity that says, you don't have any value. You're a sinner and you're a wretched man. And thank goodness you have Jesus. And so there's this weird side effect to someone that's super insecure. You're just going to live your life. You're just never good enough, and you're always broken. And it's just this mentality just went everywhere. I never felt loved. And so the limiting mindsets were everywhere at that point. Hard to unwind all of that. It takes time.
Of course. What was the biggest lesson during that time that you've learned, you would say?
Wow, it's not even that time. It's the end of the day. My whole belief is that we get handed over all of our beliefs as a kid. Like I would say, if I was born in Syria, I'd probably be talking about Allah, but I was born in Canada. And so there's a lot to do with what we've been handed. In Canada, and in the United States, we believe that ownership is above rental, but that's not even true in some other places. Rental here is looked down upon. So we have all these layers of society, layers of culture, layers of religion, layers of beliefs, our background. All of this has to be put on the fire, is my belief. That's just how I broke through. And I think I had so much of what I've been told what to do all my life, but something didn't align in my heart. I'm like, that's not me, but that's what I'm supposed to be. So I must be broken. Because I can't follow it. This must be broken. I must be the problem. And I realized that I wasn't the problem. And I literally, metaphorically, I put every one of my beliefs, like even the scary ones, like you risk hell, scary ones. I put it on the fire, and I went, whatever burns, whatever burns is not mine. Mm-hmm. And I just laid it on the line and said, I got to figure this out. What if what I believe isn't true on every single level? So now what I do is I ask myself, when someone says, hey, you believe this, I say, is that yours? And that's kind of intimidating to someone that doesn't want their beliefs challenged, because I say, is that really yours? And how do you know it's yours? See, this is where you find mega successful people, because they know what they believe. Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot of times we follow an adoption style belief versus I own that. I don't mind adopting someone else's belief and making it my own. I'm cool with that, but I'm going to know it's mine. So the biggest lesson, hands down, is you got to know what you believe and know it's yours, because you can't be shaken at that point.
Yeah,
I love that. That's we have a program for our new agents here at our brokers called Ignite, and we run through some of that same stuff right at the beginning, Ben. And I share the story of my why, and it took me into my real estate career and being a realtor. It probably took me 7 of my 8 years, perhaps, to realize I was living somebody else's why.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And
man.
it was
beautiful.
Still, it was rewarding, but it wasn't rewarding enough. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That the glass was always half full. Now it's full of what we get to do now. So that's interesting. You brought that up. I'm glad you did bring that up, for sure.
That's beautiful.
So you're a guy that, obviously, as people are listening and watching this, you wear your feelings on your sleeve, right?
Yeah. Well, the way I like to put it is this: who I am in private is who I am in public.
Cool.
And so I think wearing your feelings on your sleeve is slightly inaccurate in a sense of just being me.
Fair enough.
So a lot of people are emotionally that way, right? They'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is how." Like I'm like, "This is me." Like, so if that's what it looks like, awesome. I'm good with it. But at the end of the day, if I'm who I am in private and who I'm in public, I don't got to worry about nothing.
But that comes down to a level of confidence and maturity that most people are not at, where this is my true and authentic self, right? And
I think it's that they're not willing to do what it takes to find confidence. And I don't believe they allow themselves to be challenged in the areas that they don't want anyone to challenge. Like if you just ask yourself, when is the last time, there's got to be something in all of our lives that it would cause us to react defensively, right? Defensively. Mm-hmm. Well, there's your first clue. Why are you defending something that I don't need to be defended. I know who I am. So those are areas I like to dig down into when I'm doing coaching, because it affects your business, affects your real estate, affects every single thing. Like if you can really know who you are, you become a magnet, you really become attractive. And when I'd start with looking at where you're defensive, and then that's where people aren't willing to look at that, right? You got to be willing to look at that, and then you got to overcome it. You got to put it down. You got to be real about it and put yourself in situations that you have to overcome.
Love it.
I like the way he's dropping some bombs here. It's like, school us. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, we need one of these.
Well, that's wicked. I got to get one of those.
Yeah, you do. That's the only reason why we run this
bedtime.
Podcast. Yeah, little horns. No, I love it. And from knowing you and watching what you put on social media and everything like that, like there's many people out there that have a message of, this is how great we are. This is how great my team is. This is great. And I know just by watching you from afar, like we're on two ends of the country almost. You are always delivering amazing information on how to not better your business, but how to better yourself. Which in turn is going to better your business and everything else. We get the ripple effect.
100%.
So my question
that's agent from within, right? Like I think there's a lot of training out there. Beautiful tactical. You're a great trainer, by the way. I watch what you do. I just want to give you props, man. Like if I was training, I'd probably call you. Like I'm not joking. I think anyone needs to be able to jump into a good trainer, like for real. Like I think you've got depth as well. I just want to give you props. I don't give many people props, to be honest. But that I love what you're doing. I really do. And I think you're 100% right. I think when it comes down to it, if you think about it, we always try to build the best businesses, right? Like we're obsessed about systems and business and marketing, and I look at that as having the best set of golf clubs in the world. But if you don't know how to freaking golf, you can have the best business in the world and it's not going to win. But now let's take Tiger Woods. Give him the shittiest golf clubs you can find. Go to Value Village, get him half busted, and one of them's a shovel. He will kick your ass at golf. So the trick is this. You want to hack, develop yourself, and then any business you can succeed at. Then you can have a broken real estate business and still succeed. Do you understand? Like it's not the actual business, it's the person running the business. It's like for so long I've been insecure for even a few years back because it's hard to communicate that with people who want to know how to become very rich. And it's like, oh, let's work on your confidence. Yay. Like, let's do the woo stuff. And I'm talking, this is really practical. Like, if you have self-sabotage, you're scared of rejection, you go to a listing presentation and you don't own your moment. You're done. I'll own my moment. I'm going to be more me than you, and I win. Yep. So we work on like statistical data. What's our presentation look like? It doesn't matter. You get.
We lose him, and it'll come back on. It'll catch up in a second here. He'll come back in, and what I know where he's going is, it doesn't matter how great
give me a napkin, I win.
Look at it. He's still going. We lost you for a little bit there, Ben. And I think what you just said, and what I was trying to summarize, it doesn't matter.
I'm back?
Yeah.
I was hearing you the whole time.
I know, man. I can tell you're passionate about it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let me just see if check my connection here. Just 1 second.
Okay, so I'll fill in the air.
Just so I can reconnect here.
Cool. Our material can be a 10 out of 10, a 20 out of 10. But if you're not delivering that information or that content from like your heart,
there we are.
And there we are. You're back.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you're not delivering that content from who you are, you're not going to get any.
Even further to that, you don't believe in what you're delivering.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good way to
Yes.
summari's that. Yeah, for sure. Holy, yeah, there we are, Ben. I think we got a better connection
quality,
now.
better connection right now.
Yeah. Now we got it. We're back. We were just trying to summarize what you were saying, so hopefully we nailed it. And you know what? I know we did because we have confidence in what we're saying.
Of course.
Well, it's like that's why scripts are hard to teach. Like, you have to teach a script that someone's going to believe in. So if you're teaching scripts, which they can work, right? Like, I've got a thank you card script that simply says, hey, thank you for the opportunity of let me see your house. The one thing in this business that I've learned is trust is always earned and not always freely given. And I just want to say, I hope to earn your trust as a real estate agent. There's a lot of goodness in there. Like, I understand that we have to build trust. I understand that I'm experienced in this business. It's a good script, and I think everyone could use it. But if you don't believe that script's something that you can really believe in, then you can't use it because it will feel unauthentic.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit. And we're going to go all over the place here, but we said right off the top that you created your own box per se, especially when it comes to being a business owner and a realtor. Are you teaching your agents scripts, or what does that look like? Because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Depends on where they're at, right? So if they're brand new, I want to break down all the fundamentals to very, very, very simple things, because I try to hack it. Like, I think execution is the number one thing we need to focus on when training an agent. Execution, okay? Like, if you're shitty at door knocking, but but one guy's still learning how to do it and the other guy's door knocking, who's going to win? Mm-hmm. So it's the actions that I need to create a system that people actually do it. So that's the first thing as a coach and a mentor, and I got to go into their head and their heart. Why aren't you doing it? So there's the big thing. But the thing is this: fundamentals are very simple. The way I started in business, I tracked asks. How many times did I ask for business? How many times did I follow up? And then I added one is how many times I create an action promise, because a relationship takes 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. It's not like the first time we meet, we're on this show. It's just years ago, Gary, we met. Yep. And now today I'm just on your show. This is relationships. This is how it goes. So we have to create action promises to develop trust as agents to get to the next opportunity to build the next part of the relationship. So that's why I create an action. I'll make up any shit. I'm telling you, like, hey, I'll grab that for you. Hey, you want me to get that for you? Because once I actually do something that I say I'm going to do, I've developed trust with that stranger. So if you need to ask for business, you need to be following up. Following up's the thing. Like, you could just teach follow up, and these people would double their income just on follow up alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it literally could. So I want to simplify it so people can execute, right? So if you're just starting out, no website, I didn't have a website. I didn't have a business card for about 5-6 weeks because it was a waste of time. I didn't have any social media accounts. It was a waste of time, and I sold 5 properties my first month.
Wow.
So you think about that, right? Like, you don't need it. Those are very supportive, because we got to look at the beginning. You need to be a salesman. You don't need to be a marketer. A marketer is an 18-month play. Social media is an 18-month play. Like, buying a bus bench, 18-month play. So the problem is when they start, that's all they do. They go into and then they start mailing out. Neighborhood's an 18-month play. Yep. So the only thing that works is like, dude, do you need to buy a house? Let me help you. Yep. Like, somehow the business has to be built. So that's the starting agent. Now, the guy that's got 2 busy. Let's say the guy that's got 200 or 300 grand and he's rocking. He's got no client list. Okay. He's got no organization, but he's a hustler. Okay. These guys burn out. They go hard, burn out, hard, burn out. They don't know. They're control freaks. They're disorganized, but they're extremely good with people. So this person, the first thing I need to do is get them to hire an assistant. Yep. Like instantly. They have to, but not a full-time assistant. How about like 4 hours a day? How about 1 hour a day? I have to get them to break through the mental block and having someone work for them, because the overwhelming thought is ridiculous for people for that. But you can hire someone for an hour a day to do one task. So I try to teach them how to do project hiring versus hiring an assistant. So it's about hacking the execution. So hiring an assistant's the way to go, but they're not going to do it. So now how do I teach them? I say this: get someone to be a feedback manager. I've only got 5 listings. Well, I guess it's going to be cheap. Great. So now what we need to do, because once they hack that, like I just did a podcast with Peter Estevan. I just launched it on my podcast From Within, and it talks about his whole story. He's exactly this guy, about how he had to hire an assistant. He wouldn't do it for 2 years. Now he has like $300, $400 a month, and she does all the paperwork, does all his feedback, and he's a completely different person. So that changes everything. You got to become a business owner versus a worker. A business owner outsources cheap things that you don't have to do. The business owner builds a business to serve the life they want, but that conversation's not even happening in real estate. Like, well, how many deals do you want to do? That's not the question. What life do you want?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the question.
Now let's build a life. Let's find out. You might only need 80 grand.
Yeah.
So why are we doing all this other stuff? And that's what I'm on a mission for. I'm going to help people build a life paid for by real estate that way. But that's a few things we teach in the academy. There's all kinds of stuff, but everything has psychology mixed in. Everything has personal development mixed all the way through. That it has to. You can't develop a business without developing the person running it.
Yeah. You know, as I'm listening to you, I just wish you were passionate about it.
Yeah. Guys, I'm not even started.
Yeah, I know.
No, you were talking about.
I used to be insecure about that. That's the thing, guys. Think about this, okay? I used to be insecure about being hyper. I used to be insecure about always wanting to hear my own voice and talk. And at the end of the day, I realized that's my fucking gift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's my gift. We allowed to swear?
We just did.
That was tapping in. No,
I was jump in for a second. I remember I don't know if it might have been in that training session we talked about at the top of the show, where it was about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe longer. But I remember you telling a story somewhere along your journey that you were that hyper kid. We all have. Yeah. We were either that kid or it was our brother or sister, right? We've all experienced that. Yeah. And I remember you saying to us as in the group, like it was what's the word I'm looking for? It imposed a ceiling on you whether you knew it or not. Mm-hmm. Like, Ben, be quiet. Ben, be quiet. Yeah. Ben, be quiet. Yeah. Ben, be quiet. And you told that story from your perspective on how now all of a sudden you created this insecurity about being too loud or being rambunctious or being too much, being wild, energy, and all that kind of all this energy. And I thought to myself, Ben, because I never want to say that to my kids. No, we do, but
awesome, dude. That gives me shivers, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden, I have a daughter that she is loud and everything, but that's her personality, man. Right? Let her be. I got to remind myself of that.
Oh, Gary, they just made my day, man.
Cool.
Okay, I love that.
Done.
There's nothing better than making an impact on someone's family.
Yeah.
That's my core. That's the core. That's everything. It's everything I want to do. Like, that's what's important. That's like that's what's important. Like, to connect families and connect yourself and like your kids. Like, that's amazing, man. That's amazing that your kid. That means.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. We still got you there, Ben?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The audio cut right at the end there. That's all good.
Now, you were talking about the industry and coaching. What is the next gap that you're seeing in the industry? Because as a successful agent, as a successful coach, as a successful business owner, what are the gaps or the next gap that you're seeing in the industry?
I think social media is causing trouble. Not social media, lead gen. Sorry, lead gen's causing trouble. I think lead gen is important. I have lead gen, but the importance I put on it is maybe we get 20 deals a year. Some guys are going all in on lead gen. The problem is it's an old school sales funnel, right? So what the problem is that there's only a certain amount of leads. The more money you pay, the more money you get. I think we need to be. Oh, did we freeze?
No. We're hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. So you froze this time. We're all taking turns here. What I'm saying, though, is this is something that I haven't talked about, is that I truly believe we need to seriously look at our businesses and don't go all in on lead gen. I think it's a mistake. I think if we just go lead gen, you're going to be so busy making phone calls and chasing leads that you won't blow the client's mind. You won't build your list. You won't build a business. It's a very dominating thing for a team as well. So I'm for it. Okay, don't get me wrong, but I think we need to be prepared that this gets watered down, becomes the new spam. And I think the society is getting to know the tactics, the little funnels they get caught in. They know these things. So I feel like I think if we're going to be smart, we need to get back to real building, blowing the client's mind, building a referral base as fast as we can. Lead gen's great for getting the client, but after that is where everything begins. And that's a lot of times where people end.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing now for your clients, to your current clients, to blow them out of the water so that you have that repeat and referral business?
Extreme thoughtfulness. So if you had to just extreme thoughtfulness. So what we want to do is along the steps, there's everything. There's like, for example, let's just do it this way. If we wanted to buy a closing gift, it's a real hot topic. If you go on all the different forums and everything, like, what should I give my gift? I'm like, they missed it. They completely missed the mark. If you have to ask, what do I get my gift? What do I get for a gift at the time of closing? You've completely missed the mark. Now, if you think the day that you meet someone, how am I going to blow their mind with their closing gift? What happens to your conversation with those people? It turns like this. Hey, what do you do for fun?
Yes.
Oh, no way. My kid loves Lego too. Do you like cigars? It turns into a different conversation if you're hunting on trying to find something that gives an emotional reaction at closing the day you meet someone.
Love it.
Love it. I like that we went from kids to cigars in the same sentence.
Yeah. Only Ben can do
We
that.
should be smoking cigars right now. That's what we should be doing.
Hey, now we're talking.
All right, we're at the top of the hour. And Gary?
Yeah, so we do something kind of fun here where we do rapid fire questions, my friend.
Bring it.
I'm going to ask you random questions. You're going to give me a yes or no or the appropriate 1 or 2 word answers. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Would you rather be texting or talking? Talking. Favorite season? Don't say hockey season.
I like them all.
Like them all. Okay. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat animal crackers?
Yes, they need to stand up for what they believe. Kill the crackers.
Kill the crackers. First celebrity crush?
A Mini Driver.
What?
Remember Mini Driver?
Oh, yes. I went to the car. I don't know.
I went to the car too.
There's a show called Return to Me. She was in it. I thought, man, that girl was awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how old I was, 12? I don't know.
Okay. Is double dipping at a party ever acceptable?
Absolutely. I'm a double dipper.
Yeah,
Just
you
don't
are.
look. Don't
Yeah.
turn your head.
Turn your head.
You're the first person that said yes, and I love it.
No. First
Because
person.
you know why? Everyone else are liars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone double dips. That's like there are some.
That's where I was going.
Turn your head.
Name one of the 7 dwarfs.
I don't know. Grumpy.
Grumpy. Have we had Grumpy
That
yet?
seems like a real psychological test. I
Yeah.
just thought, I'm like, what I say right now, I'm getting judged. It was either sleepy or grumpy. I'm like, that's both right now.
Yeah.
No.
I always tell people afterwards, and you set me up, don't read into any of the answers here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Would you rather big dog or a small dog?
Big dog.
Big dog. What superpower would you like to have?
I don't know. It scares me, to be honest. I feel like, to be bluntly honest, I think I have my superpowers. I truly believe I can see who people really are.
Boom, boom, boom. Would you rather cake or pie?
Ooh, ice cream cake.
All right. And the last question of our rapid fire session is The Godfather or Star Wars?
Oh, that's tough. I go Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Really?
There you go. Boom,
Wow.
boom, boom. All right.
You saw me as the Godfather, didn't you?
Yeah.
I wasn't a big Godfather. I think I was too young, to be honest.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
okay, let's put it out there on the table. I've only watched that for the first time within the last year.
What, Godfather?
Godfather.
I actually think I've never seen it, I don't think.
Yeah, it was one of those weekends where it was just me.
Where have you guys been? Like,
I've seen Scarface. That was
Okay.
cool.
Scarface, yeah.
Yes.
Scarface was good. I've seen Casino. Remember that guy kills that guy with a pen?
Yeah,
That was pretty
yeah.
intense.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah. But Star Wars, we'll go Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
that one's classic.
The original
I like
trilogy
that.
or the
That's
second
fun.
or third
that little
trilogy?
I like that middle of the show doing a rapid fire. I like that. Nicely done.
Spite, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you mentioned in our rapid fire, you mentioned your superpower. Being able to see who people really are. Tell us a little bit more about that. And when did you realize that was your superpower, and how does one tap into their superpower?
I think the ultimate is you have to be yourself unapologetically. You have to. Like, you have to. Like, if you're out with friends and everyone's wanting pizza and you don't want it, say you don't want pizza. Like, take those chances. Let people down. You have to. You'll never find yourself until you stand on who you are. And that means you might have to lose some relationships along the way. It's just part of the process. And no one's willing to do it. They want it all. And I think I can see people, man. I don't know if it's because I've lived a crazy life and maybe I understand psychology. But there's something inside me, man, that I know. I met a guy the other day and he was looking at coaching. It was his dad. His son is coaching with me and his dad is there. And I read his mail, man. I just sat down and said, this is where you're at. And he almost got tears in his eyes. And I'm not here to be like, oh yeah, it's just part of the process. Like, I can just see you. I think what happens is that we get out of our own way. You can see people too, guys. Mm-hmm. You just got to get out of your head. You got to get out of your own way. You got to risk everything. Then you start living. And I think what it is my deep core is like, I want to pull something out of you guys. Like, even right now I could feel it. And it's like I can, you know what I mean? Like, I call people out. People take it maybe the wrong way, but I'm calling the best of you out.
Yeah.
I'm giving permission for you to just be you, man. Just like I'll be the guy that takes the hits all day. You can watch, man. People judge me. People take it out on me a lot of times, but I'm doing that for everyone else because you know what? If they can see that I can come through, if they can see that I can be Ben no matter what, no matter how dumb it looks, maybe they will be able to stand up and be themselves. And that's honestly, now it's been doing this for a while, man, I'm seeing a lot of people change. Lots of people break through. And that's weird is that their incomes all go up. It's the craziest side effect of personal growth, to be honest.
But it's you making that stand for their greatness and you seeing the greatness within them, even though they might not see it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I just want them to be them. I never tell anyone what to do, ever. I'm like, is that yours? Then why are you doing that? You know, hey, they'll give me a solution or something. I'll say, you don't believe that. And they're like, it's hard. Like, I always think I need permission to coach people. I don't just walk up to people and do that. But the thing is, when I have permission, they let me, and I call them out. I'm like, you're just telling yourself a story. That's not even true what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, and it's almost like, you see me, which is what they desperately want, guys. Yeah. See, they don't want to be seen, but they desperately want to be seen. Yeah. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. Now, how does one discover their superpower?
I think just be you, man. And I think here's the answer. Don't look for a superpower. There's step one. Don't, like, what are we looking for superpowers for? Just be yourself. Like, that is the superpower. It's like, that is the superpower. Be you. Because what happens is if you can be authentically you, become extremely attractive. Your energy comes, it's crazy. Like, I dream of walking in a room and the entire energy raises. And no one even knows what happened. It's like, I think that can happen. I don't know if that's too crazy, but that's what I'm thinking.
It's
just be you, but it all comes from just be you.
Yeah, tapping into your true core and why you're here.
100%. Like, I think it's the real version of us. It is tied into some, like, I'm not a religious guy anymore at all, but I think there's some kind of like source, there's some kind of connection we have that's extremely real to me. And I don't sit there and be like, this is Ben. I feel like I'm a tool in a way. Like, I'm just on a mission to, like, just kind of a weird, I don't own it. It's me, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Okay.
I just roll with it. I don't get too high. I don't get too low. It's just what it is.
Okay. Now, as a coach, who is your coach?
I have had Philip McKernan as my mentor for years.
Yeah.
I've had other people come and go into my life. Philip has been instrumental for, like, I just sent him a note. It's like, man, like, everything that happens, I go back to, like, man, I remember the day that I met him. He was on his own journey. He was actually teaching how to do sales. It was the weirdest thing, because if you ever meet him now, it's not what he does. But he says, who has the elevator speech or something. Like, actually, the real story, guys, goes like this. I was super religious. My cash flow consultant's business, everything was coming down. What do I do? I've got all the crash was happening. So I literally turned to God, and that was my only way I knew how to do things at the time. So I fasted and prayed for 30 days. Okay. So, by the way, just being me, this is how it works. And so I might as well just tell you the truth. So what happened was I go to this conference on how to do RSP investing because I needed some help. I think the economy's crashing. No one's investing anymore. I need some help. And I knew I was out of line. And I thought, okay. So I went there, and next thing you know, Philip says he's a guest speaker for like a 10-minute slot, and he's teaching colors personality. And he stands up and goes, hey, who would want to do a personality? No, so who wants to do an elevator speech? And I was super cocky. Oh my God, I got this. Yeah. So anyways, he goes, the winner gets $100 or something, or $1,000 or whatever he said. And anyways, I stood up. I realized I was so insecure. I shook it off. I just butchered the whole thing. I was sitting there totally embarrassed. And what happened was I sat down. This was at the end of my fast. And I'm just kind of like literally praying for help. And next thing you know, like there's about 10 other people. Philip butchered me. He's like, oh, you're going to take people's money, eh? And he kind of mocks me. And I'm just sat down and I'm like, it was all in fun. But the thing is, he says, okay, the winner is you. And he gives this ticket to me. And he says, this is a free ticket to come to my base camp in Vancouver. And I really believe that was kind of like God, the universe, just giving me my ticket. And I went there, and I remember him one very, very clear thought. He goes, don't you ever put your investors, don't put me on a pedestal. And it was the very first time I've ever heard that, like, don't put people on a pedestal, because if you put people on a pedestal, that just means you're less than them. And I put everybody on pedestals, everybody. And it was the starting point for an 8-year journey with Philip, helping me unwind and find who I am. He really was a spark for me. And so now I've completely taken it on, and I coach people in the same way now.
Okay.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I remember Philip's early journey where
yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, he would I've seen him in a room do that at the very beginning, and it's pretty phenomenal. Everything from self-confidence to are you delivering the right message?
Yeah.
Right? And yeah, that's pretty cool. And we all know people within these circles that have taken his coaching and used him as a mentor, in fact, and have done some pretty amazing things. You know, people like yourself, Ian Zabo.
Yes.
There's a lot of really cool things that he's developing.
Yeah, he challenges the living crap out of you. Yeah. And that's what he does. He really does.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So turn that into, okay, so that's how you're coaching now. How are you challenging your clients or the agents that work for you? Like what is some of their biggest hurdles, and how are you challenging them on that?
Yeah, that's really good. I think execution is always the hurdle, and I have to figure out why they're not executing and come up with a solution that helps them execute. Like if you want to look at it really practical, like the other side of the challenges are people that don't know how to hire an assistant. They treat it like a worker's job. They treat it like an employee. They need to treat it like a business. It's a real business. That's a huge problem. So when I challenge them is hire an assistant. Like, you can't just keep doing this. And then I find a motivation though. Like, why are you in business? The number one thing, why are you even doing this? Like, oh, I do it for my family. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's how coaching goes. If you were, you'd be hiring an assistant. And those are the challenging moments. Like even just today, I'll tell you a story. I had a guy in Montreal I was coaching, and what happened was we did a buyer's mail out, and he got 40 CMA leads. Okay, we won't go into that strategy right now, but the thing is, he got 40 CMA leads. He sent out 16 flyers, and just the way we did it, it worked. So I jumped on his coaching call because he shared that with me. 2 weeks later was our coaching call. I jumped on and I go, Dennis, tell me, man, what do you get? This is crazy. And he's like, I'm like, how many did you get? How many deals did you get? And he says, oh, I didn't get any. I haven't called them yet. I'm like, what the frick? You paid all this money. He's put the execution done. He did everything, but he won't make the phone call. So I said, okay, here's how we're going to do this coaching session. I'm done. You're going to call me. So I'm going to call you back in 20 minutes. And all you're going to do is call these people. Bye. Click.
Nice.
I don't do that to everyone, but he had to. He had to have a little shock. So call him back. He's like, I got 4 CMA appointments. So the thing is, giving the solution and the answers and the tactics is very easy. It's called Google. Like, if you want new tactics, people are funny. They always want new tactics. I'm like, why don't you just do one?
Yeah.
Just freaking do one. Every single thing works in this business. Everything. It's just how good and does it fit you?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so hard to figure out what should I do. I'm like, there's 1,000 things. Yeah. Go door knock, do calls, do lead gen, do mail outs, go talk to a hockey team, go, like, there's 100 things to do, and just why I have to hack why they're not doing it.
Yeah. And does it come back down to a lot of it, just the fear of rejection? Is that what it comes down to, or is there a few elements to that?
Yeah, no, I think it's they need a win. Okay, so yes, you're right. It always comes down to all the personal stuff, but like let's look at a practical thing. Okay, so let's see how do we move them forward. So I'm thinking obsessively of how do I move them forward. Well, you need to realize how the brain works. The brain gives historical data to predict your future. Well, the brain doesn't work with you until you take a step of faith and you find a win. Now the brain goes, oh, when you do that, you get a win. Because at first the brain's going, let's just use door knocking, okay? I got door knock. Oh my goodness, what am I going to say? The brain is giving you all this data of every other time that bad things have happened. No one's going to talk to you. You're interrupting. I hate when door knockers come to my door. And the brain is working against you. You have to shut that down. You got to go knock 10 doors. You need to get a listing and you need to get a win. Then let's see what your brain says to you. So when I'm coaching someone, sometimes it's a micro win so I can get the brain new data. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We're wired that way though, right? Like
100%.
Ever since we were toddlers or younger, we want that instant gratification on, yeah, you did great. Where, in the real world, that doesn't always happen, right? And we got to be okay with that.
100%. Like the problem is that we look short game in real estate when this game is so easy if we look long game. Because if you think about it, if we kept our clients for 10 years and never lost a client, you will never prospect again in your life. Yep. That's the whole basis of my entire academy. It's let's go 10 years and let's keep all your clients that you get and we'll live off referrals. Yeah. There's our retirement plan. You know how many guys I'm coaching that are 20 years in the business?
Really?
And I'm like, where's your list? This is normal. This is everyone. I can almost say every single person. Like, and unless you're one of those guys that are crazy good at systems, but then they're not selling.
Yeah.
They've got amazing systems, totally organized, but they're not actually calling anybody. So I think we need to focus on real estate as a 10-year retirement plan, and and you have to realize every single client you have to keep. Now that's got to be our obsession because the long game you will win, no matter how good you are. It might take 15 years, but why not live off 20 to 50 deals a year on retirement? You don't have to sell nothing. You just take care of your base.
Yep.
So talk to us about how you're winning some of those clients for life. And I'm going to lead you up with this. You talked earlier about gifts and in the first, meeting with them, you should know, or you should start that conversation what that gift or how you're going to give back. I shouldn't say gift. How are you going to give back to that client? And you've done some pretty funny, I'll call it funny and obscure stuff. And you got me thinking out of the box too. Like now I've done weird things like, hey, tomorrow morning, you're renovating your house. There's going to be a 40-yard bin in your driveway tomorrow morning. Don't worry about it. I got it. And it's all good. But you've done some really cool things. So
he took it to Hollywood. He took it to Hollywood.
Yeah.
What's that? Well, running the red carpet. So this is something I stole from a builder that didn't execute it very well at all. It was brutal. They literally had a red carpet for my client when the very beginning of my real estate career, and they just walked in. I had champagne. I had gifts. I had everything, and they just had this carpet that we walked up. I'm like, I'm taking this and I'm going 10x that sucker. And so I got the stanchions. I actually went to a place that was like $80 used, and that sucker I still use today. It's pretty gross looking though. I should probably get a new one, but my team's rolling it out now, but all my team members have red carpets because what happens is this, the goal is at closing. This is how you grade your gift is at closing. Do they say, these are the things we're looking at. Say a friend is there and the friend goes, oh, my real estate agent didn't do that. Now you're winning. Okay. So we're looking for that. And we're also looking for them. What is going to cause them to brag to everyone about your gift? So if I give her a gift basket, is she going to call her friend?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to believe what this guy did. That's the level we're looking for. So I've done everything from cat litter. Cat litter was my favorite. And I literally did it so I could tell stories like this. We joking around about cat litter. Of course, she had the red carpet, but I get out of my car. I got these 2 cat litter boxes, and she says, and I said, because we were talking and joking around about cats, and this is the best litters from Costco, and her housewarming gift was $14 worth of cat litter, and it was a huge hit. Now she can tell everyone my real estate agent bought me cat litter, and it's a joke.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'll give you a technique though. One giveaway here is that what we want to do is think of the psychology too, because if you're thinking about everything has to be about the conversation that's happening behind your back. If you can run your entire business and that's your base, that's the rule of thumb. What am I doing and what is it? What conversation is it creating? And is it creating something that they're going to aggressively brag about? So what we do is this. The red carpet is the most powerful thing. Like they freak out. They completely freak out, and it's really good. But I thought, how do I keep that freak out going? Then I thought, what's the conversation? So I'm showing you how you think things through. The conversation is great real estate agent. They tell everyone, but what happens after about 2 to 3 months once they get their keys? The conversation around their new house changes.
Mm-hmm.
Changes to Johnny's got soccer. Talks about holidays coming up. Hey, your new house, right? That's now dying out. So I want to recharge it. So what we do is we take the picture of them standing in front on the red carpet, not us. You do not, branding is so stupid. Let the conversation be your brand. You don't need to put a fridge magnet on their fridge. Put them on their fridge with them standing on the red carpet. Your phone number is on the back side so they can pull it off the fridge. You send that 3 months after your close. Because you send it 3 months after you close, it revises all those conversations. Then it goes on the fridge. And again, it doesn't have our name on it, has nothing except them standing in front of the house on the red carpet. Do you know why? Because when people come over, they're going to go, hey, what's that?
That's
but
awesome.
if you put your name on it, they will not say that.
Yes.
So I'm literally obsessed about how do we generate the conversation that creates the referrals. And that was, by the way, a $2.50 strategy.
It's brilliant. While you were chatting there, I went and grabbed one of your photos of your clients, so hopefully they don't mind. But they're on the live feed here of a picture of them on the red carpet, and it's brilliant.
But I like cheap too, by the way. I like cheap. Look how cheap that is, because you got to be creative with cheap.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, this is in the middle of winter too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, roll that out. Rain or shine, man. That's right. Coming out. And here's one tip. The one question is like, what do I do when they show up early? I'm like, oh, this is what you do. You just hold on, and now you start bringing like Jack Lemmon style energy. Like, just wait a minute. And then you say, you got an opportunity.
I knew it was coming.
Drama.
Yeah.
What's that?
Jack Lemmon. I knew he was coming.
Yeah, I almost want to put. I should have put that on today for the show. Anyways.
Yeah.
So anyways, what you do though is you pull it out of your trunk. You walk out, you roll out the red carpet, you put the stanchions on, you give them the sold sign, and like, now we're ready.
Yeah.
And it's a hit. People around the neighborhood come start looking at you. See, the thing is, we want to hide in life, and that's why you need to be confident, because you have to be willing to be seen. If you're willing to be seen, you're going to get judged.
Yes.
You're going to be disliked. So that's why we get stuck hiding.
Yeah. And in Alberta, the agents, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ben, the agents are the ones that are responsible for that exchange of keys, correct?
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Ontario has the best way to win, because, we go get keys as agents here. In Ontario, when I'm there, they're like, we don't get keys. I'm like, what
yeah,
an
you
advantage.
Do. Yeah. It's
Go get the keys
Exactly.
and just educate your client. I'm like, no, I do a walkthrough every time. I'll go get your keys.
Yeah.
Now, like, that's why Ontario's like prime for this.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I'm glad you brought that up. You went right to where I wanted to go.
Well, you said it, and I was like, oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, cool. So we just have a few more minutes here, and people have been, our questions aren't working properly, so they've been sending me some questions here on my phone and so forth.
Sure.
So, we've been talking a lot about your style of coaching and everything like that.
Yeah.
My question around that, and some of the questions that have been come in, how has your coaching changed over the years? Because I think
It's a fantastic question.
Okay,
Yes.
So go with it. I'm going to leave it at that.
Question.
So you answer that.
Well, I think when you're learning the art of coaching is that when you see, like, it's almost like, I don't know, like almost like if I jumped into a Ferrari right now, I would probably be dangerous. And you learn how to drive. You learn when you mess up, and you learn how to, I came on too strong. And sometimes there's stuff I see I should just leave alone. And you just learn the art of human interaction, where you're working with someone and you just know how to deal with them. Empathy is huge. I'm very gentle. Like, I'm so big personality, but when it comes down to it, like when it comes to someone's life, it's really, really important to know exactly how to do that. So my coaching has evolved. It's way more clear. The message is so much more clear. It's build a business, not a job. You can retire in 10 years, keep your clients forever. It's your, the whole messaging has become clear. I think when you're working on a craft, and my craft is developing people and developing businesses, you just get really good after a while, and you just keep doing it, just like riding a bike or racing a car. So it's definitely evolved. Like, I've had impact. Now it's starting to become a little bit more magical in a way, I guess, or it's like it used to be a little bit more challenging versus now it's a lot more smooth. I don't know how to describe it, actually. That's the best I think I can do.
Yeah, no, that's good. And are there certain personality types that are being attracted to you in your coaching program, Ben?
It's a great question as well. I think we attract ourselves in life. So whenever I have someone come into my life, I just think, okay, what part of me attracted them? That's how I look at it. So if they got issues, I probably have similar issues, or I've overcome them. And people that really understand that looking within and they're part of the issue to their business, they're my favorite clients. There's other people that see me as a rock star and they want me to show them how to make $1 million in 2 years. So there's a few different types of people, like people that are like the people that learn that personal growth is really important. That's the most effective coaching I can do because they're into that. But if you're just looking to have a massive amount of money, and like obviously a lot of guys have had that, but that's never the focus. So. Yeah.
And you've got a lot going on too. Like you're not just a realtor and a real estate coach and a property owner. Like you've got 5 kids. 5 kids.
Yeah. 5 kids.
Yeah. And beautiful wife. Like you've got a whole other world that you're responsible for and you're leading. Yeah. Yeah.
100%, man. I love it. And I took my daughter to Vancouver a few months ago and do a lot of one-to-one dates. It just, you have to know what you want, and then you can say no to things. And then you can also, when you really want something, you want to do a lot of things. You want to know how to execute really well, overcommit. And you'll find time to crush it so you can be with your family. So I'll wake up at 5 to 7 and crush it. People think I'm nuts, but yeah, I had to have 5 kids. Well, you got to do those things if you want to do that. And it's very motivating.
I love that. And what you just dropped a huge nugget there that people will probably just overlook. Yes. Did you catch it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to know what you want so you can say no to those things.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. That was brilliant.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
It's funny because we both looked at each other at the same time. It's like, yeah, that was golden right there. That's it. Yeah. Now, what does success look like to you?
Peace of mind. Get to be creative all the time, and I get to be with my wife and kids.
Okay.
And living an adventurous life. So I feel I'm successful. I'm already there. So here's the thing. I've arrived. I just want you to know that. I've arrived. Now I'm living and just have fun.
Yeah.
I've already made it.
Yeah.
I almost lost my wife in a divorce, and my kids used to not like me at all. I want a new daddy. And I've developed into a person that I really like. And my wife is really into me. My kids are into me. I get to impact people's lives on an everyday basis, on a real life, connecting husbands and wives back together, helping people connect their businesses, alignment. Like there's just nothing like it. And so what else more do I need? Yeah, I'm on bonus time.
Nice.
Listen, this is, you've been dropping some real knowledge here. Some real nuggets. I hope our listeners are really picking up what is being said here, because like I've taken away so much already from this conversation, right? And some of it are reminders, and some of it is like, okay, I like that. I'm going to change that, right? So
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we've had a long discussion here about how you're helping people, how you're growing people, and which has been impactful to us, and I know to our listeners, the people that are going to be tuning in later to watch or listen to this. Tell us a little bit about what you've got going on. You've touched on it briefly, but your coaching program, like you and I have connected on social media a lot through Facebook, and just the value add that you're bringing there. You've got your own podcast. Tell us a little bit about that, and the floor is yours, my friend. Go with it on that.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, the one that's closest to my heart gets filled very fast. You can go to businessfromwithin.com. It's the first time I've ever even marketed it. It's always been an invite secret kind of program for the last few years. I take, 10 to 20 real estate agents on every year. I become kind of like CEO, marketing coach, and life coach, and I get right into their world. One-to-one coachings. We go on 2 very cool retreats somewhere in the world, and we have an amazing group. So that's the kind of that's the one that's the most fulfilling, and I get right in. Obviously, I can't scale that, so that's just a certain amount of people, a certain fit. It's application only that can do that. The other one is the one that is scalable, the one that I think every real estate agent should do this. To be honest, it's only $199 a month. It's every single one of my strategies. It's all the personal growth stuff. It's a private podcast you get access to. There's over 70 episodes, all topic by topic, how everything that I know is in there. We do a once a month coaching call where we can go to groups. You can go right to me. There's an amazing Facebook group that you can actually ask questions directly to me. So it's the kind of the more inexpensive way to get to me. But then the other thing is the From Within podcast. That is a real expression of who I am. That's really about what people overcome. Like, what do you have to overcome to be successful? Like, what do you have to overcome personally? I interview some amazing guests, relationship coach, Tucker Max, Phillips on there, Philip McKernan, Cameron Harold, and even a homeschooling mom. And I've actually interviewed my daughter. And if you can listen to an amazing podcast, it's my daughter and I have a conversation. It just blows me away. And yeah, there's a lot of real estate stuff here and scattered through that too. So that's kind of what I'm up to. Those are the three things. Obviously, if anyone needs to send referrals to my real estate team, that's always good too, because that's out of Edmonton.
That's always good too.
I always forget that one.
know,
And
right?
my team, I'm like, dude, I could get you some business maybe. I always forget I forget I have a real estate team that's got like pretty full operations going on. So I forget sometimes.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, that knows you're living. That's one check mark to know that you're living your full life, right? That's
100%.
operating over here while you can do what matters most to you here in this world too.
Now you're on your journey and you're very successful in what you're doing. How can we help you?
How can you help me? I don't know. I think it's, to be honest with you, it's been something I've been thinking about is I don't ever ask for help. I'm very independent. And to be really honest, I've been looking at my own personal growth and wondering about how I don't ask people for help. And I realize I've been burnt and hurt in my life. And I realize I've become very, very closed. Like I'll just do it myself. And it's been a superpower in a sense, but it's got a shadow side I've just started to discover over the last few weeks. And so when you ask that question, it's different for me today than it would have been a month ago. I'll be like, oh, I don't know how I can help. I'm good. Like, I'm not sure how you can help. Like I have ambitions to promote my real estate stuff. And I love the fact that I'm on this podcast and you give me that platform. So I'm just learning on how to ask for help. It's a struggle for me, to be honest. It's way more than I thought. If you would have asked me a month ago, I'd be like, oh no, I can ask for help. But I'm realizing more and more how independent I am and how closed I am to help. So that's just, I don't know how to ask for help, but I'm just going to be honest on where I'm at personally.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, my brother, that will stay. That invitation is out there, so you can reach out to us at any point. We're connected on social, so reach out to any one of us at any point. Anything that we can do to help you personally, help you in your business, because we become stronger by the people we help around us. I personally believe I were to help everyone around me achieve their goals, I'm going to get to my goals, right? Yeah. And I know that is something Gary truly believes in as well. We are at we're at the bottom of the hour here. It's funny how time flies when you're having fun. But just wanted to remind everyone that, it was just so much knowledge here. And this is one podcast that I'm anxious to go listen to again. I'm really looking forward to this one on my drive to work or from work.
And if you want, I can take the episode and put it onto my podcast too. If you guys want to do that as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's how you'll help us.
There you go.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. That'd be great. I'll put your logos and everything on the cover and everything.
All right.
You're a good man, Ben Osfrel. Listen, we really appreciate this time and you pouring into our audience's lives and continue to knock it out of the park. And I know the people that you are connecting with, they are blessed to have you in their lives. And this has been a really cool hour. Our podcast is, coming to an end, but that doesn't mean it stops there. Continue to ask questions on social because I know Ben will be monitoring what's going on. And if you want to reach out to him too, I encourage you to do that. And so Ben, appreciate this hour and all the best. We'll see you out in the real world there, my friend.
Yeah, no doubt. And online. That's great.
Thanks
right. So much. I mean that. Thank you very much. I don't take this for granted. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my brother.
Cool.
Take it easy.
Cool. Signing off for now. Bye now.